You have to think you're better than everyone else, or at least believe it.
In terms of who is the best, I mean, that's a very hard thing to discuss.
I believe on my day that I can beat, anyone in the world.
Rory's ranked #1 right now, so I guess he has the edge.
I've proved in the past that when I am on my game, I'm pretty hard to beat.
Rory McIlroy has produced some supreme golf in the 12 months since his US Open triumph, but his claim to be the top talent is not absolute. The young Ulsterman's week-to-week consistency pales in comparison to that of his English rival Luke Donald, whose money earnings tell their own story and who's risen to #1 again this week.
I think as far as 2011 is concerned, you can't possibly argue with Luke Donald. He won 2 money lists, he won tournaments when he knew he had to win them. Absolutely sensational performance. OK, he hasn't won a major, but that's the only thing that isn't on his resume yet, and there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever he will win a major.
The Donald-McIlroy rivalry isn't the end of the story. Lee Westwood and Martin Kaymer have had their own stints at the peak, so what defines the best player in the game?
Some would go with the consistency of Luke Donald or Lee Westwood. Others would argue that they've never won majors. Martin Kaymer's won a major, but he's lost consistency in last year. Rory McIlroy is consistent and won majors, but there are obvious weaknesses in his game. The clear issue is that more than one player can be argued to be the best in the world. And so I think the statistics, as in the rankings, actually reflect the current state of the game, rather than are at fault for not creating a static #1.
There is an argument to suggest the rankings best reflect current form, but despite its weighting system, don't reliably inform on players' major potential. In fact, only 3 golfers have won majors, whilst #1 in the rankings.
Obviously, if you're looking at majors as being the be-all and end-all, then it's very difficult to look past Tiger. But I think the world ranking system is a pretty fair reflection of who's doing what.
And as of this week, Luke Donald is the man again at the top of those world rankings, ahead of McIlroy and Westwood.
I think consistency is part of it. I think you're a better player, you're #1 in the world if you're winning tournaments regularly and in contention, as opposed to someone that might pop up and win a major or 2 over a few years period, but not really be up there every week. So I think the rankings do a good job, and it's tough to argue that those 3 are the best 3 players in the world right now.
Rory McIlroy has produced some sublime golf over the past year, but consistency is still a problem.
What Rory McIlroy does have is a kind of star quality. People will go and watch Rory McIlroy in the same way that they used to go and watch Arnold Palmer, in the same way that they used to go and watch Seve, because he's always likely to hit a terrible shot, but there'll be a brilliant recovery. I think that's what people want to see.